We have just received the biggest update we've ever had in Modern Warfare. At least that's what you would think if you judged it by just how many patch notes there are. Most of these notes are about stability or bug fixes. It's a lot of fixes that we need for sure, but it's not the update that everyone was expecting. That big update will probably be the one that includes returning the minimap to its former glory that puts gunfire back on the map by default. This update does have some needed fixes, however, but it also kind of exaggerates a few things and also breaks a few things. This has come to be expected of Modern Warfare patch notes because there's always a change they don't mention, or a change that they do mention isn't noticeably different. Let's go through a couple of these changes that I thought would be worth talking about. One update I was happy to see is an increase in ADS speed for the SCAR and a reduction in the penalty applied from barrel attachments and the bipod grip. Previously, this speed was measuring around 330 milliseconds, or 20 frames if you play on Xbox or PS4, because those cap out at 60 FPS, and post-patch, it's pretty much the exact same. I could not tell any sort of measurable difference. This change seems to be within a single frame if there was one. If you play on PC over 60 FPS, you might notice a frame of difference or so, but overall, it's not a change that I think will have any impact on the performance of the weapon at all. This was already one of the worst performing assault rifles, and this buff didn't do anything to help it. For comparison, the M4 has an ADS time of 250 milliseconds or 15 frames. I went through and tested the long barrel and bipod claims as well, and I found out that no matter what configuration you use, when comparing it pre-patch versus post-patch, the difference is only one measurable frame faster. Long barrel, bipod, or a combination of the two, you only gain one frame when compared to the pre-patch stats. That's actually disappointing, and I hope this gets another pass in a coming update. The next thing that was supposedly tuned was the damage radius and lethality of the turrets on the infantry assault vehicle. This is one of the tanks found in Ground War. Now I thought this might refer to the main weapon that the driver uses, but I couldn't see any difference at all. This might be referring to the machine gun turret, but I couldn't test that because swapping seats in a private match wasn't working for some reason. I find it odd that they would put through a nerf on a machine gun turret though, when that's not even the thing about tanks everyone has a problem with. Again, I guess we're looking towards a future update on some more tank tuning. Footsteps. This is a good one. Now, normal footsteps have had absolutely no change. They are still too loud, except now it's much quieter when you crouch and walk while aiming. So at least we have options if we want to be a little stealthy. It's not entirely silent, but it's not so loud that it will draw someone's immediate attention. Another change that was asked for early on was to allow thermal scopes to see through smoke grenades. Well, the reason that was denied is because it wasn't realistic. They wanted to keep it as realistic as possible. This update just ignores that altogether because they decided to change it anyways. Thermal can now see through smoke grenades. I feel like this change was made because of pressure from the competitive esports players, but at the same time, smoke was far too strong, I think. It was either something like this or a nerf to the radius or duration of the smoke. Now you can swap out your sight for a thermal sight if you end up going against a team that uses a lot of smoke grenades. You can also use smoke grenades yourself and hide in the smoke while using a thermal sight. That one could be fun and annoying to play against. Can you imagine a full team of 6 all using smoke and thermal? That doesn't sound like a good time. The last thing I'll mention is related to Spec Ops. We finally have 2 more special operations, Harbinger and Brimstone. If these are anything like the previous 4, they will be an absolute nightmare trying to complete. I won't go into too much detail because I haven't played them as of recording this audio. I might have some gameplay on the screen now, but I recorded that after this commentary. Classic Spec Ops have also been updated. We have a new one called Door Kick, and with this, they've also implemented the 3-star rating system everyone has been asking about. I'm not sure if we get any rewards for completing any of these, aside from maybe some XP, but there's one way to find out. And with that, I'm going to end this video and post a link to the entire patch notes down below in the description. If you enjoyed this video, a like and subscribe is appreciated. Leave a comment below if you want to join the conversation, and I'll see you next time.